What's good with you? Welcome to my channel. On today's stream, we'll be speaking about empathy. What is empathy? Why do we need empathy? Is it valuable? Not. Yeah. So sometimes it seems as if we're in an uncaring, cold world. Um, we don't care about understanding each other's differences. And this is the reason why we need empathy, because empathy is when you have care or concern for another, whether a friend or stranger. You're able to have care for them, and this just makes the world a better place for all of us. It helps to strengthen the human bond, and it helps us to thrive as a society. We're able to live and work, um, like basically having more effective relations and interactions as we live out our day, um, and through our work life, basically. So, what is empathy? Again, empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of another. So, empathy basically is feeling with somebody, is feeling for somebody, and there is sympathy. And then feeling for somebody and acting on that feeling is compassion. But empathy goes beyond just sympathy and compassion. So empathy is feeling with somebody. You're able to put yourself in their shoes as if it's as if you were them. And how do we switch to this empathy? Is like a power of the imagination, basically, where you put yourself in somebody else's shoes and you feel with them. Like if you have a friend or somebody close to you that maybe crime, they experienced a loss, and then you're able to, through your imagination and using your empathy, you're able to cry with them. So that is empathy. That is the act of empathy. So empathy comes natural to most of us. Even as a child, you find babies are able to mimic the facial expressions of another. If you smile, the baby will smile back. And even if you pretend to be hurt, they're able to pet you or show you love. So basically, babies are born also with empathy, and even as they grow, you find that children are also sweet and loving, that they are ever willing to help somebody in distress. So this is showing empathy as well. So why also do we need empathy? Is because in this world we're gonna have pain and suffering. Pain and suffering is a given, and empathy can help bridge the gap in this regard. So, in our everyday life, we're gonna need empathy. Like, of old, the nurses and the doctors um, mainly had developed the skill of empathy. But now we find that we all need this to develop the skill of empathy. I spoke a little bit of how it affects society, but in the workplace, it's also important because, like, if you are superior and you're leading a team, it's good to have empathy, because then you're able to understand your team better. You're able even to develop them and help them to reach their full potential if you have empathy. And this also goes in a family role. You're able to help your family, support if you have empathy. So in the workplace again, you're able to reward your team, to praise them, give constructive feedback, and even encourage them on how to improve. You need empathy for this, to prevent burnout and stress in your team. You need empathy to see um, where they're at basically, and even with your customer, you find the staff that goes the extra mile. That is as a result of empathy, that they can meet customers' needs and just make the customer basically feel seen, heard, understood. That there you need empathy as well. Even your everyday problem solving that you'll come across in a team, empathy. And um, you know, to leverage diversity in the workplace, how empathy helps here is that it allows you now to treat each one according to their needs. So each person gets a tailored treatment, so you're able to meet them where they at basically. um, and it helps you relate to all people regardless of their background, and this fosters respect in a company. It encourages a great atmosphere because people feel seen and heard. So there is some of empathy in the workplace. And then if you find that you're lacking in empathy, so how can you develop your empathy? Because it is a skill, it is an awareness that you need to be intentional about. So for a start, we need to admit that we're all biased. Like we naturally um, are more comfortable with people that look like us, sound like us, with similar experiences, and then we tend to make assumptions about people who are different. So you need to just be aware of this and admit that we have this bias. Yeah, we all make assumptions of others from our point of view, never being in their shoes. So that's the first thing you need to just be aware of. Secondly, you need to check your privilege, because there are so many differences, like are you wealthy or not, maybe you getting better treatment or not because as a result of your race, of your sex, of your gender, of your religion, of your ethnicity. So there's all these differences that like separate us basically as a society. So you need to just check your privilege and also find awareness on this, because these are the things that um, can like separate you. um so now empathy basically is being able to understand another, even if they're different, and then getting to the place where you showing care and concern, expressing care and concern for others. If you spoke about why it's important, so these are some of the differences that we need to bridge here with empathy. So some ways to do this is like if you follow people on social media of a different background, race, or culture, that can help because then you're being exposed to a different way of life, to a different point of view from these people. And the core of empathy is curiosity. So it's good to speak to others and find out like their daily life experiences and excuse me, what have you. Because and even now in these interactions, maybe you'll just make friends with somebody who's different to you, whether it's a colleague or just a homeless person in your area, your neighborhood. You can befriend them and just speak to them and find out like how's their life been basically. And this is all because you wanna develop your empathy. So even when speaking to these people, eye contact is very important because it makes people feel seen, understanding, listening to what they have to say, but also not just listening, but listening to the message behind the words is also very important here. When you now mixing with people of different backgrounds, listen for gestures and look for facial expressions, try to understand that, and then matching their tone helps them also. It's not only appropriate, but it helps people feel comfortable and feel heard. um and then this helps you basically stand in another's shoes, and also even you're able to walk in their shoes if you interacting in this way. So books are also a great way because it opens your mind to the experiences of others. Like books here, I'm speaking of like documentaries or stories, like documentaries on poverty, like war vets, like race books and stories, or documentaries can help you develop your empathy, because as I said, it opens your mind to the experiences of others. And whilst doing this all should drive you to a place of compassion toward others. And as a result, you can even get to a place where you're able to speak up for others now because you have empathy. Like even if you're not a parent or mom, you're able to still support mothers in fighting for whatever rights may benefit them, even if it's not benefiting you. And that's where um empathy also comes in, because everything is not about you. You're able now to help others, even if it's not directly benefiting you or affecting you. And this just helps make others feel respected. So a good it's a good skill, life skill, trait to have. So that's some of the empathy that I have here. So that is empathy. Empathy is basically feeling with others, and it is important because it helps strengthen the human bond. It helps unite us, and it makes the world not so cold and um, uncaring. We're able to understand each other better, more effectively, at home, in the workspace, and in society. So, empathy is a very important skill, awareness to have. So yeah, that has been it. Empathy. Let me know if you learned anything, and like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you on the next one. This is Finding My